we just happen to be videotaping. Oh. Well, good morning. Well, welcome to the podcast. So, we are here at Browns Creek, obviously, judging by the big sign. And as a first for our podcast, we're actually in person in the same space. Whereas before every other podcast, we've been separated by hours. So, this is kind of nice. Brian, tell us why we're here.
It's reflective of the thing about the season. It's always great seeing people in person. That's kind of the vibe coming out of our preseason events. I'm on my fifth NICA hangover now. Hey, 5 preseason events, right? 2 grid events, the regionals, Whitewater Center now here at Browns Creek for our second preseason adventure event. First for us, doing adventure in the preseason, and I think everyone was having a great time. And it's just like I was trying to get around and everywhere to see everyone, check everything out, and that's what gives you the NICA hangover, right? Just the stoke and the vibe. And man, yeah, I'm pretty worn out, but it was awesome.
Yes,
it was great.
I think I went to bed at 8:30 last night and was like right asleep.
We didn't see you around the campfire ring
Yeah,
last night, Sean.
not a
No,
problem.
we
I was
didn't.
like, let's go to bed. I'm fine.
Yep.
I've hung out enough. And then we have Dave. Dave, tell us why you particularly were here and what you were a part of with the adventure event this weekend.
Okay, Sean, thanks. Brian, thanks for having me on. Dave Droke with the Down East Dirt Dogs in Onslow County. Came out here last week to ride with the trail boss and see what kind of work we could do out here on the trail to make the trail better. Specifically, we got to do some work on the NICA loop out here. Looked a little bit aggressive at first, but we were able to tackle every single bit of it. Had a lot of kids that were volunteering to go out and work on the trail with the tools that we had, and they were impressed. They were stoked. They had a great time, and they worked very hard and got everything done that they wanted to do.
And you had 35 coaches and student athletes that head out on that trail work.
35 total, yes.
And that was something that was unique about this adventure event at Browns Creek as opposed to Whitewater Center was you had built in with the Teen Trail Corps this ability to do trail work and get some trail work hours at a venue that we are going to be racing at. Whereas Whitewater Center, that's kind of private, so they don't have any need for anybody to do trail work. So that was kind of a unique aspect of this particular adventure event that we weren't able to do at the Whitewater Center event. But that seemed like it was really popular. Like I saw, like at 2 o'clock, there were so many kids and coaches that went right to that area. You guys did your talk. I know Rocket Ron and Leonard both, were there with their tools and their shtick, and then you all headed out. And I actually, whenever I was kind of cleaning course afterwards, I noticed like all of a sudden there were just these pristine sections of trail, and I was like, this must have been what they worked on. So that was a great job. Thank you.
It was really nice to be able to tie in the workshop with what the tools are and what to do and how to use them, and then physically go out onto the trail and give them the opportunity to use tools that you wouldn't normally have in your garage that typically students and coaches will take out to the trail, just leaf rakes and things. So we had the actual tool working trails here with us, and they were able to take them out there and get some hands-on with it.
That's awesome. And so that was 35 people doing 2 hours of trail work, so 70 hours of trail work accomplished yesterday, and that puts us over 700 hours of Teen Trail Corps hours for this season so far. So we're well on our way to our 3,000 hours goal for Teen Trail Corps, which I think is pretty amazing.
It is. Thank you.
Awesome. And then we also got to meet a new league sponsor. So
okay. Hey everyone, Brian Russell here out at Browns Creek Trail System, Elizabethtown, North Carolina, for our second preseason adventure event of the 2024 season. Really pleased today to introduce Matt Hawkins, owner of Ridge Supply, brand new league sponsor, makes some phenomenal socks. I'm going to throw Sean off on the camera work here. I've got my new North Carolina colorway sport, so thanks so much for that, Matt. But wanted to, as part of the introduction to the league, could you tell us a little bit about Ridge Supply, how that started, what got you into the bike sock business?
Yeah, I've been riding bikes my whole life, and in 2014 I got run over by a pickup truck while I was riding my bike on the road, and I was very lucky to be alive. And I realized, like, maybe if I'm going to keep riding, I try to do something that was making it safer, more visible. I was wearing all black that day, and I realized that your feet move all the time, and it's kind of like the one thing that you have that's almost like a light. And bright, colorful, color block socks are what's most visible. And so that's kind of where the idea started. And I had no idea that I'd be doing it for the last 9 years, but yeah, that's kind of where it was born. And I you got to sell a lot of socks to feed a family of 5, but we're able to do that, which is kind of fun.
Sure, yeah, and it's great. I love the fact when our sponsors are aligned in purpose and kind of vision, and so certainly safety for student athletes local. You know,
Yeah.
you're right down the road from me, Eastern North Carolina. I love supporting local businesses and just that whole Ridge Supply, the Ridge design is awesome. Fits in with the league logo and everything. You mind telling your folks just what did you see out here today at Browns Creek?
Yeah, we're out here. We've got, I don't know, 50 to 60 riders out here, and family support, and coach staff, and it's a gorgeous day. Browns Creek's an awesome venue. I've raced here myself, not as a teenager, but as an adult, and
Yeah.
and always a good place to come out and ride. And it's nice to see everybody working on the skills too.
Yeah, local trails are always kind of special. Hey, if you weren't able to make it out here to Browns Creek, can't get some of these great socks, follow the link in our Instagram bio. It takes you right to Ridge Supply, and Christmas is right around the corner. So get your holiday shopping done like I did earlier. So with that, as Mina closing, you want to share a little bit of a preview of what some of our folks can expect for
Yeah,
the 24 season?
this year, 2 things. One, we've made a North Carolina colorway that is available on the website now, which is sort of like the official sock of the league. And then we're also going to provide a podium sock for all the races this year, and it's a coveted sock. You can only get them by winning a podium spot in an event, and that'll be unveiled at the first race. And that's always we've done this in Virginia as well, and it's a very popular, well-earned prize
That's
that you
nice.
can rock all year long.
Nice. Fits right in with our, just the beginning of the season. Set your goals, choose your own adventure, aim for that podium. I know a lot of our riders are doing that. So, Matt, thanks so much
Yeah,
for all the
appreciate
support. Great having you
Thank
as
you.
a partner here in the league. Thanks for what you do.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And so those socks can be purchased online at ridgesupply.com, right?
Yep, ridgesupply.com. Go there. If you're on our Instagram page, look in our bio. You'll see the link tree for Ridge Supply. Yep, absolutely.
And then we also have our other merch available, and that's on our website, correct?
Yep, TC Screen Printing will provide our merchandise for this season as well, and everyone's used to seeing them on site during our regular season events, but it's always available online. So holidays, Christmas, just around the corner. Like, everyone can start getting their shopping done. Right now, I did. Russell family getting Ridge Supply socks for Christmas this year.
And then we also, as far as one of our league sponsors, and actually a NICA national sponsor, we had Trek with Chad he came all the way from Johnson City, right?
Standing here with Chad Wolf from Trek. Those that were with our league last season know that Trek gives this league great support. They are a national level NICA sponsor, and Trek is no stranger to the North Carolina League. And Chad, we really appreciate all the support from Trek. Along those lines, you were with us a lot last season. What do you think about last season? What's going on here in North Carolina? And
That was incredible.
kids on bikes and all that. What do you think?
You bet, absolutely. We're thrilled about North Carolina in a lot of ways. We have so many retailers that go throughout the entire state, and the relationship between all of not just the league directors, which has been incredible. The locations are fantastic. The teams have an incredible time out at the races. If anything, we're just trying to figure out how we can help elevate those already amazing events.
And Trek is just one of those sponsors that puts their money where their mouth is. They show up. Chad, thanks for showing up.
Yes.
Care to describe our folks what's going on here today and kind of the Trek hype area? What's going on?
Oh, preseason events. We're so thrilled about the idea of these preseason events. So today is all about fun, right? Getting back on our bikes right before the season starts to kick off. And today, that's exactly what we brought to the table as well. So we're running basically some slalom course races over here on some tiny kids' bikes. We also have a lot of educational components going on as well, making sure that everybody understands what maintenance looks like on race bikes. And we're racing bikes. It's very different from recreational bikes. We're just cruising around the neighborhood, which means they're getting ridden hard. And that's awesome, but that means that they need some love in the process. We get to do a little bit of both today, for sure.
Okay, well, thanks for supporting the season of adventure, choosing your events. A lot of options here in the Trek area. I want to give folks a little bit of a preview of what's coming up in 2024. What do you think?
We're looking forward to 2024. We've got a lot of things in the hopper. We've developed so many amazing things with the North Carolina League throughout 2023. Obviously, we're carrying a lot of those forward. And the coolest part is, while we can't talk about all of it right now as much as we want to, piloting all kinds of really cool things in the Texas League, which, of course, they're racing right now in the Winter League because it makes sense in Texas. So we're thrilled about the opportunities for 2024. We'll have more information coming soon. But no major leaks to be able to give away quite yet.
Chad and I were talking earlier. This is all about community. That's what we do here in North Carolina. That's what we do across NICA. And thanks for being a great community supporter.
Absolutely.
Great having you here, Chad. Thanks so much.
Love everything about it.
I say this a lot. Trek puts their money where their mouth is. They are absolutely a huge supporter of NICA and certainly the North Carolina League. And yeah, Chad drove all the way from Johnson City, Tennessee. That's where he's based out of. He brought some bikes. He brought some games. Man, that pint-sized peddler game, you know, on the Strider bike. I saw parents racing, kids racing, coaches racing. I mean, that's what Chad set up for us. In addition to provided the kids some skills training, you know, how to change a tire, how to fix a chain. And those kids, they got their activities signed off in their adventure passport.
Yes.
For accomplishing those things. So yeah, we hand out passports here at Browns Creek for kids that showed up.
And that was something, so both at the Whitewater Center and here, at the Whitewater Center, Trek was able to teach kids how to repair a chain. He had a bunch of chains and a bunch of chain tools, and so that was something that they were able to accomplish on their passport. Here, I think he primarily focused on the flat tire changing, and so they were able to take care of that. There were some wildlife opportunities here that were not at Whitewater Center, particularly of the reptilian version. So one of the things with the passport was being able to get the passport and then start knocking out some of those tasks at the adventure event. But remember that it's not just adventure event exclusive. It really is designed for practices and adventure rides that teams are doing on their own, to just sort of like give kids, some of the student athletes, kind of a checklist of things that they might want to accomplish, and a way for them to be involved in planning those things. So what I did with my team at the Whitewater Center was say, you know, how long do you guys want to do a ride for? And they were like, we want to do a 5-mile ride. And I said, okay, here's the map. You all plan that out. And that's one of those tasks in the passport, is to actually navigate a trail system using a map. And it's a great way to get the kids involved with actual planning and those sorts of things, so they get a sense of ownership with those adventure rides, and something that the passport really gives sort of a recipe and a checklist of how to do. So definitely check those out. Those have all been handed out, and so at this point,
yeah, and just as a reminder, certainly the student athletes that came to preseason events got their passport. Once we see season registration close on 21 January, we'll know what our numbers are, and we will distribute those passports to the team, so they can then hand those out and start doing those things you talked about at practices and at our events.
And I think for those that don't have adventure passports, you know, coaches, just download and print off a sheet, and that way you can be keeping track of student athletes, and then once we get those passports in their hands, then they'll be able to have them, and you can sign off, and they can get them stamped and all that good stuff, and start earning those adventure badges, which will be great.
Absolutely right. That is available in the Adventure Coach Resource folder. A link of that is on the Coach Resource page of the website. Yep, absolutely.
And you brought up, and you worked it in there, but I think you really need to highlight it. So January 21 is?
I like to thread a lot of things, yes, Sean, and I like to use my hands. I'm using my hands again. But yeah, so 21 January is the end of regular season registration. And so what's important about that is that essentially we know what our numbers are generally for the season. We start doing the wave scheduling and planning, but student athletes get their personalized race plate. You know, we will send that list off to the race plate producer, and everyone gets their personalized plate. New for this season, we are doing a late registration period up until 23 February, because I know life happens, and man, I missed it, and get in. Unfortunately, we just can't guarantee you your personalized plate after that time. But yeah, so 21 January is a pretty important date for us, so we know our numbers, and we know what we're dealing with, and yeah, we get those plates on order. So everyone, just coming out of the holidays and New Year, yeah, registration is going to close in about 3 weeks.
All right. And then definitely, you know, going along with that January 21 deadline, all of our event registration is live right now. So you can get in there, you can start registering for events. And one of the things that we've got new this year is kind of the all-in event package.
Yep, absolutely. So event registration is open right now, and just like normal, you have an a la carte option. You can sign up for each individual event, no problem. That registration will close the Sunday night prior to that event, just like normal. So we know what our numbers are for the weekend. So you have time if you want to sign up by event. But just like Sean mentioned, we do have a discount package. If you want to go into Pit Zone and sign up for all 6 available events, when you sign up for those 6 events, it will apply a discount to that. So for only $140, you get all 6 events. You're essentially paying for only 4, but getting all 6. So it's a little bit of a discount, a little bit of a way to make it easier. I would just caution everyone, we are not refunding event registration. So if you're uncertain about the schedule and you want to wait see what the weather's like, that week before, go ahead and wait. That's fine, but you can get in there and register right now. And that helps us just budget and forecast what our money's going to be. for the
Awesome.
season.
The Alumni Network, that's something that's new this year that NICA has put together.
NICA just launched that. I'd ask everyone here who's listening, if you know one of those athletes that left the league. You remember last season was kind of special. We had those athletes that were all 7
Yep.
years of their NICA experience, and we launched them out, and we're building lifelong mountain bikers. So very appreciative of NICA to establish this Alumni Network. It's free registration. An alumni can just sign up and you get connected to network, and they're talking about having Strava groups on there and events for alumni. Again, since it's all free, push that word out. You go to the NICA website and just sign up right there, and we've pushed that out in some communications. It was in the Single Track Times last week that we pushed out.
Awesome. And I particularly am very, very excited about this. We are going to be publishing the dates of all of our next season coach trainings, those combined WFA OTBS 101 training weekends. We've already established those weekends with Solo Southeast, our WFA provider, and we will be beginning registration very soon so that you can kind of capitalize on those new coaches that you've got that have got the drive and the stoke, and they're ready to move up and become a level 2. We're gonna get all that going early so that we can kind of capture this energy and magic that we get through the season and don't have that lag period through the summer. So be looking for that, and we'll be talking more about that in January as well. Anything else that we wanna?
So I know, are you going to announce the special video compilation? Hey, don't just listen, you got to watch.
So we're trying something new. We are going to be splicing in some of the video content that we captured here at the Adventure event. So this podcast will still be a podcast, but for additional content, we are asking you to go check out the YouTube version of this because it will have a lot more of the visuals. And although I know how much everybody wants to see us, we are going to put more visuals in that I think are going to be well worth your while to check out on our YouTube channel. So please take a look at that. And we're really hoping this year to do a lot more of this sort of on-site, capturing a lot of the things that make up what our league is all about that we are not quite able to capture just talking about it. So stay tuned, and if you haven't already, like and subscribe the YouTube channel so that you can see these things whenever we put them out. We put some brief things out this weekend as we were capturing them, and that's moving forward. We're going to try and do more of that, so making it a bit more than just a once a month kind of thing.
And I think that's important. And if I could just put you two on the spot to think about maybe what stands out to you most about our new preseason events, and I'll set the stage for it. I think we talked a lot about you don't really know what this NICA thing is until you see it. And so
All right, so welcome to Browns Creek, everyone. As you arrive, if you come over here, take a look at our league registration tent. You're going to see Jenny. Jenny, wave hi to the crowds there. And then Jenny's husband, Brian, our chief course marshal, keeping everyone safe out here. Say hi, Brian. It's going to be okay. It'll be all right. Shell, programs director for the league, helping us set all this stuff up. Yeah, thank you for what you do, Shell. And so, folks, when you come in, got great support from our league sponsors, Trek. Chad drove all the way from Johnson City, Tennessee. Look at the cool stuff they've got set up. The pint-sized pedal race is all set up, and for our kids that have their passports, you can get some of your skills activities done, like how to fix your chain and the like. Going to be pretty cool. Scrolling over right behind me, we've got our adventure zone, tons of games set up, rock dodge.
Try again.
Folks, you are looking at what is likely to be North Carolina League Rock Dodge champion Lily with what I believe is a 35 cone setup on Rock Dodge. She is doing great. And look at that clean. Crowd favorite if Sean can get it in the frame, that Garage Bunny. For our big race. This is just pre-season event for us. And then right behind me here, teams are getting set up in their pit zone, hang out for the day, head out on the ride, come back, take a break.
So I don't think our folks kind of knew until they got here, these preseason events, oh, this is what's going on. And contextually, this is our season of adventure. We call it Choose Your Own Adventure. And so NICA programs in 4 ways for that. Grit, everyone's very familiar with the Grit program. Teen Trail Corps, Dave is part of our Teen Trail Corps committee. Adventure is a program, and competition is a program. And everyone thinks racing when you talk competition, that's true. But what we're trying to do is provide an opportunity for all of our athletes to choose their own adventure in all those programs. And so what I like about what we're doing here is we've threaded our programs together in these preseason events. So it's an adventure event, but just like Dave shared, we had some trail work going on. We had Teen Trail Corps, and one of my favorite moments of yesterday was I'm at the end of the day, and I asked Eli Novak McDougal, middle school on there, hey, what was your favorite part about the adventure day? He said, Teen Trail Corps. We provided an opportunity for that young man. So thank you, Dave, for what you're doing. We've got 4 committees: Racing Committee, Grit Committee, Adventure Committee, Teen Trail Corps Committee. That's where all the good ideas come from in this league. I'm the most uncreative person on the planet. It's the ideas that filter up. As a league, we're just trying to thread those together for folks and provide the opportunities. So that was my favorite part of yesterday. Just Eli's like, I love Teen Trail Corps. I love working on the trail that we're going to race on. First event.
I think for me, the two things that stood out most about yesterday was, and I noticed it at the Whitewater Center as well, was how teams they would go off and ride, and then they would come back, and then all the kids would gravitate towards all of the adventure activities, and then they would kind of regroup again, and they would go back out and ride. And so they were getting like all the things that were available to them, and like doing them over and over again. And I saw 2 student athletes, and they were coming into the adventure area, and one young lady, I just heard her say, there's a lot of fun stuff to do here. And I was like, right on. That's exactly what we were hoping for. And I think that's something for teams that came, they didn't really know what to expect. And then when they came, they realized that it was a lot of different things for them to just choose from and do at their leisure. And I know one of our coaches, Ryan Donnell, he said this was the most relaxed event weekend he'd ever had. Because, on a race weekend, you're like, kids have got to be here and they got to be there. And here it was just like, wherever you want to go, like we can just go do that. So I think that was really beneficial for coaches too, to just come and just have a relaxed, fun weekend.
For me, what I really enjoyed was everybody loves to cycle. Everybody loves to get out on the trails. And like Sean said, that's the first thing everybody wanted to do. How soon can I get my coach's package and get my kids on the trail? And as they moved back here, you saw kids from different teams interacting. They started some healthy competition with the bunny hop or with the cardboard slide or some of the funs and games. And then you sit around here late in the day, and what you see is kids have made friends from other teams across the state. Some of them they may have seen at races from last year. We had some from Pitt County, one of the coaches and students from Pitt County that were helping us work on the trail. So we had an entire team of dirt dogs and then 2 from Pitt County, and he folded right in, and it's like he knew everybody on the team. So that personal relationship was just really emphasized throughout the whole weekend, and that's what the kids really want. They want to feel like they belong, they want to have a good time, and they want to enjoy it. Kids their same age and of older and younger age, you see them all just interacting together. That interaction piece that we saw out here in the field this weekend was absolutely amazing.
And the healthy competition, like they were competing at things, and they were competing hard, but then the kid that just did the rock dodge, and I think they got up to 40 rocks in the rock dodge, and So they do 40, and then they're cheering on the next kid who's trying to beat them, and they're like, "You can do it!" And I was like, "This is awesome." So it was that part of it was just so great to see kids just dive right in and have a good time. And I think that's part of it is like we do this because we have fun doing it, and this allowed us to kind of share that aspect of mountain biking instead of just being the competitive race aspect. It really is kind of a nice addition to what we're doing, for sure. All right, it's that time.
It is that time. So you want me to start?
No, I think you've got the
This one?
best one.
Oh well, okay.
You brought the heat. You were prepared, but Dave's is very topical, so I'll go with
It is very topical.
Yeah.
All right, dad joke number 1. What do frogs wear when performing their trail work? Closed-toed shoes.
Nice. Dave, thank you.
Okay. So, why did the camp counselor quit his job? It was always intense.
Awesome. Along that camping theme, I would be remiss if we didn't close just by recognizing Cape Fear Sorba, who does the Brown Creek Trail System. Dave, you interacted with Greg Brinson. That was awesome. Town of Elizabethtown, thank you for letting us camp here. Camping is certainly awesome for both our preseason events and every event this season. So that's pretty cool. But along that camping theme, and because you and Golden are on that van camper of yours, what do you call a van camper driving through freezing rain?
Ooh, what?
Van Halen. So if you can just thread a Van Halen tune into the video somewhere, that would be fantastic. Just long time Van Halen fan. That'd be great.
Oh, okay, I'm done.